Everyone, it's 4:30, it's Friday, and this is the Entrepreneur Drinks Podcast. We hope that everyone had a great week, so let's all have a beer or a cash flow cocktail and talk about business, being an entrepreneur, and making money. Hopefully we can help each other solve some problems and learn how to grow our businesses. Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show and learn some things along the way. It's time to crack open a drink and get started. Let the conversation begin.
Hey everybody, we're back at it. Entrepreneur Drinks back on the Mississippi River. Today's special guest is Phillip Vincent, and we have Brian Johnson replacing Bob.
Hey,
cheers, guys.
What's up?
Bob's in Europe, so this is your first time listening to the show. It's Friday afternoon. We're a few beers deep.
Probably 4:30. Isn't it 4:30?
It's around there.
Yeah.
One wakeboard run in, and what we do on here, Phil, is kind of what we used to do in the office. We'd have drinks on a Friday and just kind of bullshit and, you know, maybe solve some problems, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe say something constructive, maybe not.
Sure.
So,
Like business.
Proceed.
Oh, so it's not video, it's audio.
No, it's just audio.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, nobody can see.
I don't have to get my nipples ready or anything.
Yeah, none of that, man. Didn't I buy some almonds? Yeah, dude, get this out.
I forgot what I bought, but I can't wait to figure it out later.
So I'd like you to introduce you to like our 3 or 4 person audience.
Hello, audience.
We actually had pretty good ratings on this show. We've had about 5,000 listens in the last
That's a lot of listens.
2 months.
Here.
I might
Yeah.
be like half your audience right here.
Well, I thought it was crazy because I only have 20,000 on my Discount Property Investor podcast that's got 30 fucking episodes. This one's only got 9 episodes and it's got a fourth of the listens.
So far the episodes have actually been like, they've always been fun to record, but I'll listen to them to just see. Like,
they're great.
Because I forget sometimes what the fuck happened.
Right.
Well,
Like the next one
we solve problems on this show.
yeah.
Yeah.
There is actual content created sometimes, and then other
Still on your
times.
sheet, Brian.
Do you take the content later and actually put it, transcribe it?
We do. The
Genius.
website and everything.
Yeah, it's switched.
Do we?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
AdventureDrinks.com. Pay a lady in Indonesia like $7 to transcribe it.
So she types out all the fucks and the shit.
Everything. All of it. Yeah.
Just FUK, though.
Yeah, we use Argyle Blackpool for the website.
Asterisks.
And, yeah, man, we got all the episodes up there.
Fucking
And the ones that have video, and the ones that don't. So,
I think when you're sitting in your car, do you really need to have the video anyway?
No.
When you listen to podcasts? You
well,
don't.
we can publish it on YouTube as well. But
Yeah.
what we use for the podcast is Libsyn. And it syndicates out to like 100 places. Like crazy, like SoundCloud and Spotify.
Yeah.
All these places that you never would think, but it's out
So
there.
maybe like add like some Lake Havasu video of like girls in bikinis for the
Oh,
video,
yeah.
right? Instead of since there's no video on this
Right.
one, like keep me engaged in case I'm on a video
Yeah.
podcast.
Right.
And then we've tried Facebook Live, but we always end up fucking it up.
And there's no signal out here, probably.
Well,
is there?
Facebook
We've
Live
never
is
done
tough
Facebook
'cause
Live
there's
on the
no,
river, yeah.
there's no way you can't cut it. It's live.
Oh, so a little too live.
And it's an explicit podcast. Like,
Yeah.
we don't give a shit about shit, fuck, whatever you want to say. However, if you get off on a tangent and start talking shit on somebody, you can't take that back.
Yeah, and it's like forever on the internet. I've heard,
right?
Yeah.
So,
Have
And
you
we
guys
have
got that
done
shit
that.
pulled down for
Right.
live?
What's that?
Have you gotten that pulled down for Facebook before?
No.
if you're listening, Nick Bauer, this episode's about you.
Yeah.
Here's a list of the people I love. Just go there. No.
I had a big rant on him.
That was
you?
that last episode, I think.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate your...
You want to introduce yourself,
your
Silly
listenership?
Philly, or you want
Sure, guys. I'm Phillip Vincent. I'm a real estate investor. I've been doing it for actually, this is the 18th year.
Holy fuck, man. How old are you, like 45?
39.
Season
39. Built my
Christ.
first house when I was 21, which is rare because I started off in new construction, I guess you'd say, and built it, sold it, made some money, and thought, hey, that was fun, right? And then I kind of went ass backwards. Everybody starts off in wholesaling, and now in 18 years, I've ended up in wholesaling from new construction, which is kind of the opposite of what most people do. And so, my daily gig now is trying to acquire houses. I really like ground. In St. Louis, we've seen things push west, obviously.
Yeah.
St. Charles County, farm fields that are now $500,000 houses.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Tons of them. And I look at areas like
There's a $1
Wentzville.
million house in the way fucking here,
Oh,
man.
yeah, it's big time. And,
Crazy.
where people are moving to, like Wentzville was the middle of nowhere, and now it was 10,000 people when I was a kid, and now it's over 30. They just announced not one new grade school, 2 new grade schools.
No way.
Think of that growth. If you
2
need
of them
2
at
new
once?
grade schools, yes.
Where's that, Wentzville?
Wentzville.
Wow.
But anything St. Charles County.
You won't buy and hold the land, will you?
Hold the land, it depends on the price range.
You're a
well,
wholesaler,
if you're
you don't
like,
hold.
I'm
I
gonna,
got 10 acres
You're
right now in
in and out.
Wentzville. No, I like to move, stick and move.
Yeah, you're not gonna be like, I'm gonna speculate that this will be built up in 3 years from now.
No, I want to ride that fine. I want to get on the front of that board and
game,
just.
not our game.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not THF Realty.
Well, I had a rich buddy, neighbor, tell me one time, what you need to do is buy it and hold it for a long time. I'm like, yeah, dude, with a ton of money.
If I had
Of course.
If I could
That's
pay
what
40
you do.
grand in taxes a year, yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, and he was politically connected. The older I get, the more I realize that you have to be politically connected to really get the juice.
You do, man.
The
It's
juice
crazy.
to
That's
deals.
another topic for our podcast.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Brian, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, every 10 listeners out there?
Hey, we got
Mom. Hi, Mom.
I'm one of them here. I'm probably one of the biggest Entrepreneur Drinks fans. I watch it every time you guys got a video out, so I'm honored to be here. So, Brian Johnson, I guess I'd call myself an aspiring real estate entrepreneur. I got into it, started dabbling around about a year and a half ago, and then I just joined as the newest team member for Joint Ops Properties, doing acquisitions for them.
Woo!
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hooray.
Good group of guys.
yeah, so honored to be here. It's been a blast.
All right. Well, we got two topics today, gentlemen. On our way up the river today, before we started wakeboarding, we were talking about contentment and relativity.
Phil got real heavy, like. second beer.
From the get-go.
Hey, that's the point.
I think about contentment a lot.
Should we
and-
talk about contentment, or
Yeah,
should we
let's
sell
jump
the pimp your ride story first? Or should we?
Hey, let's hear the Pimp Ride story. Let's
Yeah,
get that
yeah.
out the way. That's a good story.
So in the
Listeners are gonna
early
wanna hear that.
2000s,
So you're building houses in when? What was your first
When
deal?
you started at 21?
2000, the year 2000,
Okay.
Wow.
And, so,
Um,
and then when did Pimp Your Ride?
2003, and
Okay.
I owned. So I
So you
worked.
already had some real estate at that point, or some flip stuff?
No, I didn't. I wasn't holding anything. I actually got in the cellular phone business. I had a few stores, and I remember
the AT&T
thinking.
shit, or like the,
I sold AT&T. I sold. Remember Nextels? Ooh, they were so
Nextel.
fucking. They were so loud. And I remember reading an article
What kind
about
of stores
Japan.
were
I sold multiple. So I was an
they? We love lots of
independent.
tangents on the show.
So I sold Nextel, Verizon. I was one of the first T-Mobile dealers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you're an
How the fuck you get
independent
into that?
third-party dealer then?
I was working for Verizon even before I built a house. So while I was building my first house, I worked for Verizon corporate
Okay.
store.
Sweet. That's
Yeah,
great, man.
yeah, and so I obviously wanted to go out on my own. You know, it's that entrepreneur blood inside you.
Right.
And they had a match back at the time. It was 6%. You could put 6% of your salary, and they would match it 6%. I go, that's
Great.
12%.
Yeah, fuck.
So in a year, I think there was like almost 20,000 in there. So I broke it and started my own stores.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, the most powerful force in the whole universe is compound interest.
compound interest.
Don't forget it,
Yes,
guys.
yes. Don't
Listeners, there's no viewers today. But listeners,
forget it. Listeners.
don't forget it. All right, cool. So back to this.
Because Phil, you
my
come
ride.
off to me as a person who's always been hustling.
Hustling since kindergarten.
How old are you when you built that first house?
21.
So you're like 22
And how big of a
with
house was
slinging
it?
cell phone.
It was 300 and something thousand.
a
Down in
big house,
Peebly
man.
though, Peebly, Missouri.
So
that's
it's a big house, man.
Well, I mean that's yeah,
And 18 years ago, shit.
yeah, 18
Yeah.
years ago. It was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about hustling. I remember in kindergarten, my mom would make chocolate chip cookies, and I would take them and sell them for $1 a piece.
Love it.
And that was 100% markup because I didn't buy the cookies or make them or produce them or anything.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know, and I'd trade them for whatever. I remember 7th grade, we had these. We would put. What are they? The
Marijuana.
Marijuana?
no. I'm sorry, that was the wrong gesture. That was the wrong gesture. No, 7th grade. They were.
gestured like this.
No, I know. I did the
wrong.
wrong gesture. Toothpicks. But we'd dip them in like this
fudge?
sauce that was kind of like a cinnamon, and they would burn. They would freaking burn your lip. We'd sell them for $0.25 a piece. But guys were like, "Give me four, give me four,"
I love
because
it.
you know you couldn't have any gum in class. But like, who? I mean, that's 7th grade. You know, my parents own a candy business.
Mm-hmm.
I would buy the really sour. What were those balls called?
Like, I know what you're talking about.
Sour. I don't know.
Gobstoppers?
Warheads?
Warheads. Super sour candies. I'd sell those.
Right.
I'd just make bank off of it. And then I think
You've
about
been in the hustling game. For a minute.
always. Before Craigslist, you know, there was a thing called the bargain box in the Post-Dispatch, and I used to buy and sell cars before I was even 16.
Really?
Yeah,
Cars, huh?
yeah. And so, I don't know. It's just in your blood, I guess. Yeah. And real estate, I'll be honest, real estate's the only thing I've found that gives me the adrenaline rush that I had from making that money with the website. And we're talking about.
Talk about, this is a great story.
The early 2000s, I bought I had a domain name called pimpmyride.com.
And this is
Pimp My
before
Ride,
the-
like the TV show.
This was before the TV show, though, right?
Approximately right around the same exact time.
And why did you say I want to have a website called that?
Teriyaki.
Well, because the there was a ton of traffic coming to it. I've always been into cars. I still am into cars. And I just really enjoy aftermarket. I like to customize things. And so the domain name started getting traffic. 1 million people, million 5 a month all over the world would come to it. Visitors. And so...
and what was actually on the website?
Ads. you would get there and you'd be like,
shit on that website.
People would be like, and they'd have to click something,
it was like
right?
Penis and larger pumps.
Yeah, whatever people wanted to pay for it.
Ads for other websites.
Yeah, it was AdSense. I had hardly any content.
I love that.
I didn't build a community. So amateurish. Had I just done, let me talk about 2 things I could have done.
Go ahead.
Taken the traffic and put it to Phil's Deals on Wheels or something stupid. It didn't even matter because it would have been 1 million people a month going to you for free, right? That traffic's worth a ton. The second thing I could have done is done any type of email. I found out later I could have sold the emails for $1 a piece.
Captures.
I should have been making 500 grand a month.
Right.
I should have put it on there. You can't even get into the site until you give your email.
Any type of affiliate.
I didn't even think of this. None of this didn't even cross my mind.
But in 03, did anybody know about that shit?
Well,
they
did, but they didn't know the value of it. That was the difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
They knew about it, but they didn't know the value of it. Because nowadays, those emails aren't worth $1. I don't know if they were then.
Well, hold on. Speaking
Maybe
of cars, I was at the SEMA show, which is the world's biggest car show in 2004-05. Met this guy named Eric, who's a complete entrepreneur. We'll talk about him another time. He owned a site that sold car parts. When I told him he was there for the car show and I was there for the car show, we're playing poker next to each other. When he hears what I do, we just like stop playing poker. Now we're just like man crushing, like, oh, we got to get together, limo rides. He's like, and he said he'd give me $1 a piece because he could turn around and sell them for like $2 or $3 to other.
He would put them in a gauntlet.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because he would say what you asked for is 87 Civic, age. Like he would get all their information, and that was valuable to other companies.
He had the narrow data.
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah. But so in negotiations to buy me out, I wanted $1 million. I don't know why that was a round number. He ended up offering me $650. For it, and I said no. So I kind of have the same story.
You do have
in retrospect, I should have said yes to that. I mean, the stupid, right?
Could have bought a really
he
nice
was going to buy
cash,
a 0.25%, a 25% for 125, and that's when the WIPO came down on me, and Viacom came after it, and it was like, I don't think I'm fighting a $1 billion company.
So whenever
so why did Viacom come after you?
They finally got their trademark in order.
Hit my right.
But it took them what, 4 years?
Yeah.
They made the TV show.
Yeah, they owned, but it was. MTV's Pimp My Ride is what they trademarked. So you could have argued, but I didn't have the heart for it. I wasn't going to go to hire lawyers and go to freaking...
How did it end? Did you just wake up one day and it was gone? Or
yes,
did
that's it. Go to GoDaddy, nothing. Go to GoDaddy and there my site's gone. That's it.
They didn't even contact you. They went above
We never talked once.
They went above you. They went to GoDaddy and they're like, listen, legal
No,
department.
past GoDaddy. They went to it's called World Internet Protocol, something in like Switzerland, and they called GoDaddy and
they just said...
Yep, I never talked to Viacom
So you probably could have had the right to like fight.
Oh, I had the right to fight.
But but it doesn't matter because they already took it.
Yeah,
so
and somebody told me early on that if they ever come after it, let them have it. Because they're a $1 billion company and you're a kid. I'm like, well...
that's how all patents work.
Yep.
Yeah. It's all about the battle of the wallet.
What were you bringing down?
You could have a patent and I could have a product, but if I got $100 million and you have 10 grand,
yep, you're done.
I'm going to still sell your fucking product's patent.
Yeah, come after me, bro.
Come after me, bro.
Come after me, bro.
Yeah,
right, get big, son. Let's see what you got.
It's fucked up, but that's how life is, man. That's how it works.
30 to 40 grand a month.
More money, more problems, but life,
And see, to me, perception, relativity, to me, that's all I needed.
Right.
$1 grand a day is a nice number.
Yeah, that's a great.
Right.
That's
and at 39, it's still, if you make $1 grand a day, you're probably
21. God.
At 21.
I feel like you're invincible, bro.
Yeah. What a great story. Thanks for sharing, Phil.
No problem. No
That was
problem at
What
all.
did you do differently? Like, what was your big takeaway?
Good question.
What would I have done differently? The 2 things. I built a community and send that traffic to whatever else.
You could have lost that website, but they still would have wanted to hang out with Phil.
Well, once I would have built a community, then it would have been built.
Well, how many visitors you said? 1.5?
1.5 million a month.
And you had a month.
Yeah, unique.
How many is that a year?
12,
15 million?
20, almost 20.
20 million in over 4 years. That's 80 million people. That's about as many customers as Amazon has, I would imagine, right?
You're making me feel bad now.
So,
I know I fucked up. I know I did.
But
Well, I
not
guess I
every
should've
visitor
asked,
would have given you would have opted into the email list either, though.
Had I set it up where they wouldn't have gotten in without it, I think everybody would have did it.
Probably would have, 30, 40%. But not, maybe. But you would.
But hold on, out of 1.5, okay, do the math. That means 40% of 1.5 is what, 6, 7, 800,000? $1 a piece? That's a month.
Right, a month.
And I'm all bragging I'm making 30. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Short-sighted.
Yeah, but you know what? It's in the past. You live to learn.
I hope I learned from it.
I hope you do.
I hope I learned from it.
Hope I learned from it. That's the whole point of the show.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, what kind of plane is that? That's a big plane over there.
I think that's you talk about being an entrepreneur, it's when to put the gas down, right? Opportunity knocks all the time, but do you take advantage of it? Right? I mean, for me to get in that position,
about that. Like,
have we?
Yeah.
Could you even
It's flying
realize,
low,
though,
too.
the opportunities you had at your hand? Like, or were you just so
Well, see,
young,
I was
you just
partying
content.
a lot.
I was content with the 30 to 40. I thought I was balling out of control. No,
And you were partying a lot.
I'll party my.
You're
Yeah, I
Man,
didn't have any
hit this
kids.
fucking thing over here, man.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, we'll make a lefty.
Nah, we'll just let me start the boat.
Yeah,
Put me back in the middle of the channel.
Yeah.
It's not like we're
Okay,
gonna
there's
hit
gonna
it
be some
hard.
noise.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You got paddles, right?
That's a great story, man. That's a great story. So that brings up two good valid points.
You want to talk
Hold
about
on one second.
relativity at that point? That's got to be real fucking annoying.
Have a beer, guys.
We don't edit
We're gonna
that
move the boat.
Guys, if you're
Listen.
wondering, that's a vibrating boat.
Right. The vibrations actually get killed out by the Auphonic software, so
Does it really?
it's crystal clear. Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
Do you think we're the only maritime podcast?
Today,
I would
in
think
this
so.
area, yes.
Yeah.
On this river, yeah.
For real estate, maritime.
We are the longest running maritime real estate podcast.
About a subject that has nothing to do with maritime, right?
You're right.
That's good.
Oh, we're good.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging in there. We had to move so we didn't crash. Now you're gonna listen to Jimmy P.
I'm gonna pee. We're also the longest running real estate podcast that records urination.
That's right.
Speaking of dinghies,
This is podcast number 2.
Give us a
or 3.
warning next time. I think I just saw your meter, dude.
That's right. So, with that being said, two very good points though.
That was a finish.
Relativity. We're not talking about Einstein relativity. We're talking about relativity in just life and contentment.
give me an example.
So tell me. Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
You brought up contentment earlier, and you asked us a question about it, and we didn't answer because we said that's a great podcast.
You said to save it.
Yeah, it's a great
the
podcast
question was simple.
conversation.
It was, are you content in your life?
Well, let's talk about that. So, what does that actually mean, first and foremost? What does that mean?
Contentment?
Yeah, let's just explain it first. for
That
listeners.
you're the shiny penny or the shiny object. You're not always
chasing.
chasing something else. Like, I feel like people in my life, to
I
remain
know what it
nameless,
means. I'm asking you
that
to
they
explain to them.
can't get to have. In 6 months, I'll be happy when this happens.
Right.
When this happens, I'll be happy. They're not in the moment, living happiness
So,
in the moment. So
my
contentment
argument
to
is
me
this.
is happiness in your moment.
Any and every entrepreneur is never going to be truly content. Truly.
Okay.
Because they're
I
always
agree.
going to want to be able to build and grow and build and grow. However, there is a point you can reach to where you are satisfied with your business.
And life.
And it's different. It's two different things.
Yeah.
Being satisfied
I
and
think
being
it's two
content.
separate.
It is.
Life and
contentment
business?
and business contentment are separate
Right.
things, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But
Yeah, but if your life
They kinda
contentment
go hand in
sucks,
hand,
it can
though,
mess
man.
up your business.
it does. I'm in a seminar right now, Life in Air.
Yeah.
I'm in day 2 of 3-day event, where that's the whole point, is build a life around your business, not a business around your life,
Yeah.
or vice versa. I fucked
Yep.
that up, didn't I?
No, I knew what you
Sean
meant.
McCluskey's
Yeah.
got a great idea.
He does. He's got a good idea. And I actually had
'Cause
Sean on
people
my
want
own
it.
podcast
People need that.
Right.
2 weeks ago, and it was a great episode. Sean's a great guy, but that's a good point.
He's got a hell of a man cave.
He does.
I'm jealous of that man cave. Hey, Sean, bring me over, buddy. I can't play any instruments, but I just
Sean
wanna
had a really
touch
good
them.
point today. He said about 2-3 years ago, he had a Lincoln Navigator, fully paid off. Not a, wasn't like a Lamborghini, but it's a nice car.
Sure.
40,
Freaking
$50,000
60 grand,
car.
bro. Yeah, right.
He sold it. And he didn't say what kind of car he bought, but he said he purchased a car cash, paid off a couple grand. So I'm assuming,
Yeah.
Honda Civic,
Right.
or whatever, a couple years old. And all the people in his network were like, Sean, like, what's going on, man? You going through rough times right now? Like, everything okay? Like, you need anything? And he just kind of brushed it off like, I'm good. Like, he just didn't feel the need to explain himself on why he made that decision. But that was just one step of many in reducing his monthly outpour of cash flow.
The burden.
His debt.
The burden of debt.
burden of debt,
Yeah,
right.
agreed.
And, about 2 years later, he didn't have to work anymore. He had enough passive income and positive cash flow that it covered all of his expenses and some.
But he
And
also changed his expenses to get there.
He did.
So he
Absolutely.
made that decision
100%.
consciously to do
That's
it.
a great point.
Yeah, but if you do that, you get all your time back.
Right
So to
now,
me,
You get all your time back.
to play with
Yeah.
your guitars in your
That's- and
basement,
that's
right?
what
That's what he
this-
chose. His
Yeah.
life was more important.
That's a great point, Jimmy.
I
And
call
that's
that-
exactly what this
I call that my strike number.
was about.
That's what I mean. When I hit my strike number, I knew I could quit my job. And did I live cheap as fuck?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Post being married?
Fuck yeah, dude. And my wife was on board for it too.
Wow.
Like she hated me as a W-2 employee.
Well, that being gone 15 hours a day.
Yeah.
Who wants that?
And then coming home being pissed off as fuck. She's like, I don't need fucking shit. I'll shop at Aldi's. She bought all our furniture for our house on Craigslist. She's like, figure out what you got to do to get out of your job. And I also knew, like, if you got a low freedom number.
We can so easily relate relativity into this conversation right now.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about contentment, though. Go ahead. Please.
But if you got your 2-year freedom number, I knew I'd get my time back.
Good, man.
And I knew if I had my time, I could then make boatloads of money. But it was I had to get away from that immediate need for a paycheck.
Right. But you had to work towards that.
Yeah, and like
you had to build.
I was cheap as fuck.
It took action though for you to get there.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen because you said it, you had to do things to get to that point to have enough money.
I love that word, action.
I think there's
consistent, persistent action. My favorite quote of all time.
Live like nobody else does now, so you can live like nobody
Grant
else
Cardone,
does.
right there, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe. Yeah, Grant.
But
That's probably not an original quote by him, but he stresses that quote every day.
Yeah.
That brings up another good point.
Yeah, he's balling out of control though. He's like
knowledge isn't power.
Now he's driving Lamborghinis.
He's way fast. Yeah.
Do you think he's got a nice as boat as me?
Oh yeah.
He doesn't own it.
I think his dinghy is nicer on his boat than
Probably
I think
details
his
his
cash
boat,
flow is $1
right?
million a month. Cash
He's
flow.
leasing it. He doesn't own it.
Yeah, he's doing real well. But he had a really good point a couple months ago. I follow Grant pretty closely. It's kind of corny. I'm not going to sit here and act like I love him, but
His wife annoys the living shit.
Really?
Elena, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But regardless of all that, I do like his passion. And he had a really good quote a couple months ago, and it said, "Knowledge isn't power. Knowledge plus action is power."
Yeah.
And he had action like bolded and underlined in his thing. And it made so much sense to me though, because I know people that are super smart, way smarter than me, that are broke as fuck.
Oh, you talk about that couple.
Knowledge, but
I know
they're not
people who throw
doing
up a
anything with
huge
that.
number every year, but are broke as fuck.
And that too.
It's not what you make; it's what you actually put
save.
in your pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
And avoid
Or put to work.
taxes.
Yeah, put to work or put in your pocket.
That's such a good point.
I try to keep myself not broke. That's not the right word. But every time I make a big chunk, it goes right back into something to make a bigger chunk.
Right.
It's the
And
best
now
way
those
to
chunks
not
are just.
spend it.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
But now
It
your
is.
chunks work for you, and you don't work for the chunks.
Chunks are out there.
I do that too, man. I have a Roth IRA, a SEP IRA, a Bitcoin wallet.
Nice.
Every time I get paid,
Crypto.
I try to just put it in one of those things to avoid having to like see it in my checking account.
It's
If I
funny
see
what
it
you
in
just
there-
said. Seeing it is different,
Yeah,
right? You
man.
gotta
Like,
hide it from
I'm not
yourself.
ashamed of it. My checking account usually just knock off.
It's kind of like Reese's peanut butter cups.
$2,000 or $3,000,
These melted.
and I
by
do
the
that
way.
for a reason.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see $40,000 in my checking account. I'll
Yeah.
fucking go blow that shit in a minute. So I gotta hide it. I gotta stash it.
Like our kid dreams. You ever have kid dreams and now you could buy it? You're like, I don't even want that shit anymore.
That's the only reason why I have rental properties. It's not for tax purposes, which is a great advantage. It's not for cash flow, which is a great advantage. Because if I had all that money in my checking account, it would be gone in a minute.
Yeah, you don't trust yourself.
No,
Right.
fuck no.
Beer-
Like we were just
Can you
talking
beer
There's a lot of
me?
advantages of having that.
Can you beer me?
Yeah, of course. I have
cool when
15
you flip the
rentals
switch
right
from
now,
going-
which isn't even that many, but for somebody that doesn't even really give a shit about having rentals.
You need to open that right in front of them.
Oh yeah, right there. Put it right up in there. Oh yeah.
The audience loves,
Bottles, yeah.
the opening sound.
Recording here, right? Yeah, 23 minutes in.
Fucking phone is off.
So, yeah. With that being said, though, that's a great point. I love that. So back to contentment. What is contentment? It's
Different to every person.
different to every person, but I think the general idea of it is being happy where you are at. Right? Am I summing this up correctly?
Yeah.
Being happy where you're at, and no longer having that need to strive to build or grow on whatever it is you're doing or thinking about.
So it's internal, probably.
Right? Am I on the right track?
I think so. I think it's, man.
So, with that being said, are we content? Is that the question? Or is there ever
That's
a
a
level
big
where you
question.
become content?
I haven't found it
so-
yet.
Me
I haven't found it yet.
Me personally, I am content.
But does it affect your self-esteem?
Self-esteem is a lot of this.
Really?
Your contentment is based a lot on your own self-esteem. That you need to prove yourself.
I'm asking you though.
That's a
Oh.
good point. You have a good point.
I'm not saying in general. I'm asking.
No,
you.
I think a lot of my shit is based on never feeling good enough. So you always want to prove yourself to be more,
Right. That's a good, yeah.
right?
It's a challenge.
So I don't know if you make that monetary or not, or I don't even think about like the good dad part because I know I'm a good dad, so that doesn't bother me. I know I'm a good dad, but it's the provider are you living a good life? Are you the best person you can be? That's what I try to do.
Yeah, see, I don't have kids. I don't have the same mindset.
It'll change your. Oh,
it will. I know it will.
My whole thing is, I have my strike number every month or year, right?
I'm the only guy that got kids on this boat right now. You got a kid too?
Yeah.
2 or 1?
I have one living. I got one that's not here. So
you've had 2 though. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So
how old are you, Brian?
I'm 31.
Damn, you're my age.
Looks
man.
young as hell, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he's like 24.
So like what Phillip just was saying, that's really struck with me because that's like my whole purpose of why I made the shift, wanted to be a real estate entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I've been trying to be the best person I can be and provide for my family like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, here, we're going to go off on a tangent real quick because we love tangents.
Yes.
A lot of entrepreneurs go into entrepreneurship because they want freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah. They want to go on
and
strike.
The downs are I have a problem coming up with words sometimes. The conundrum, maybe right, maybe not, is that you go into this entrepreneurship path because you want freedom. However, you get exactly the opposite of that. You end up working 70, 80, 90 hours a week. Like we were joking around yesterday at Life in Air, and they're like, who's working 60, 70 hours a week? I'm like, I work that many hours by Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like obviously kidding to my girlfriend or my fiance when I say this. But it's the truth, though. Like, I'm in the office 15 hours a day some days. And I got into this whole entrepreneurial, landscape to have more freedom, and yet I have less of it. Why is that?
It's all
That's
about
on you.
perspective, though, dude.
You really should probably sign up for strategic coach.
I know. I need to get the Dan Sullivan teaching me.
I'm way over all that because I've been on strategic coach for like a year and a half.
Yeah, I need to do that.
But you're
I'm not working 15 hours
for
a day.
yourself.
Well, I mean, that's an exaggeration. 10, 12, so on and so forth.
I think it's because I worked 80 hours for my regular job,
Right.
and I realized there's a diminishing return. And
Right.
I used to wanted everybody to give me a fucking badge saying, Jimmy's the hardest fucking worker here.
See, I don't.
There's no fucking
You made the same
badges.
salary.
I don't have
right.
that type of contentment or whatever you call it. Like, I don't have that need to be like, oh, put David on a pedestal. Like, I don't give a fuck. My problem is that I serve everyone. So, like, when I'm in the office, if I'm there for 10 hours, 7 of it is just a big distraction. It's somebody coming in and being like, hey, can you help me with this Podio setup? Or can you help me write this contract? Or I got to figure out this negotiation strategy. And they always come to me, which is fine. I'm happy to help people. But the problem is that I'm there for 10 hours and
You're not allowed.
I really only work for
Try
like
not
3.
answering an email or taking a call till 1 o'clock
That's
in the afternoon.
so difficult for me, man.
You're going to have to do it.
Yeah.
People know, like, at least my
I do
team.
use Boomerang, which helps.
Yeah, my team knows, like,
What's Boomerang do?
It lets you prolong an email. So you can send it, but it won't send it.
I don't
What good is that? Tell me what the good of that.
So, different tangent. But
Yeah.
like, let's say that somebody emails me and they're like, hey, give me more information about this property, for example. This relates to all of us. And if I were to respond back right away and say, there's the address, here's what I'm asking. Well, if I send them that email right back, so they send me one and I send it back within 5 minutes.
They know you're available.
They know I'm available. So they're going to send me another email being like, well, when can I see it? And are you willing to negotiate? So then I'll respond back saying, always negotiable. Obviously, you fucking retard. And yes, it's on Lockbox, or I wouldn't be marketing it. Go look at it.
You can pay more if you
So
like.
then they respond back. So I'm reducing 16 emails. It's an exaggeration, of course, too. But just saying, what I'll do is I'll send them an email back, and I'll give them every detail that they could ever imagine or ask. But I'll say send it 10 hours from now. So that way I'm not available. But it's
funny. I do this naturally.
Right.
But
what
I'll read
happens,
it, but I'm
though,
not.
The beauty of this, though, is
I
that they see that, yes, I respond, I am available, but not instantaneously. And that next email that I get isn't a single question, it's 7, which is what I'm wanting.
Yeah.
Because I don't
get it over. You want to get it over.
I don't want to play ping pong.
Email bothers me.
Right. I don't want to play ping
How
pong.
often
I
do
want
you
you to
check
give
your
me
email?
all the
all the
information
time,
that you
all
have,
day long.
and I want to give you all the information that I have.
Yeah.
And then from there, if we don't know the answer, then we'll figure it out together. But I don't want that ping pong.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So
I use
boomerang.
ping pong all the time.
But
That's
I
what
hate
business
it,
is.
though.
The ball comes, get it back in the other court.
But you don't play ping pong.
I don't answer emails.
He just
till
has balls all
4:30.
over him. No, he's not even hitting the balls. But,
Lots of balls. It's weird.
no, but he's got people for that.
No, but you're right.
He's got
though.
ball hitters.
I need to hire Dan Sullivan.
I mean,
Sean McCloskey
Dan,
was
I get
talking-
a. No, you get
Sean
it.
McCloskey was talking about Dan Sullivan today,
Yeah.
actually.
Okay, so like you're doing high level stuff though on our business. Like I'm responding to people. I'm trying to get deals done. So
Well,
if
I pay you
put
to
that
do
stuff
that, like-
off,
Right.
You better be fucking checking email all day.
Yeah. All day, right.
Yeah, but that's your role.
You're his
though.
boomerang.
But that's your role. That's nothing wrong with that.
His employee, so
Right.
I'm not at that level yet, so I have to.
And acquisitions is fun. Your job is fun, man.
Yeah, that's a great job, man.
Fuck.
Blast, dude. It has been.
It's a great job.
It's a great job.
I'm still in the acquisition mode. I love doing it. That's the best part of my job.
Yep.
I prefer to get out of the office and turn my phone off for 2-3 hours at a time to go acquire than sit there and try to help somebody negotiate a counter offer.
So, I mean,
To
what
me,
does your
that's
office
just like,
do when you're not
fuck.
there, though?
It's just, to me, it's common sense. And anybody listening to this right now that isn't an employee of mine, they may think I'm an asshole for saying this. But to me, it's like common sense. Like, this is business, in my opinion. Create the win-win. If you don't create the win-win, then you're not good at what you're doing. So, like, if you have somebody that wants to make you an offer, or you're making them an offer, or you're countering, and this is real estate specific, that's what we all do. But just find a happy medium, and you're gonna win at what you do. That's it. It's that simple. You know, but when people come in the office and they're like, well, what do I do? Well, it's like, well, what the fuck do you think you do? Make a win.
But dude, if you're not in the office, like they'll figure it out themselves.
They will. Say, what do they do when you're not there?
Right.
I mean, they should be.
You set a precedent when you help them with Podio. Now they don't need to learn Podio.
One of the best things
I record it now, and then I send them a link.
Smart.
Because I'm just like, I've done this 5 times already. So.
One of the best things I learned in the Army was like my first day. Like I was a go-getter and everything.
Sleeping on top of the sheets.
Well, no.
Making your bed.
I did that too. But there was another lieutenant who was like, whoa, hold on there.
Simmer down. Hold
on there, go-getter. Like, be careful what you're good at because people start to depend on you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're the hard charger, you'll run the whole fucking battalion.
Right.
Which is why I didn't learn how to do laundry till I was 24.
Right.
I'm kidding.
Oh, man, that's a great point.
I mean, especially Podio, like, fuck, be careful what you're good at.
Oh, yeah, that gets deep.
Yeah, and like, yeah. Luckily, I got Mike on my team because he's really good at that shit. Too. But, yeah, it's annoying sometimes. So, back to the topic.
So, do we decide that we're content?
Well, I don't think that any of us are really truly content, but there's a difference between being content, like, daily, and being content in, like, totality. In my opinion.
I think with totality I'm good, but daily I'm not. Like I keep striving.
Right.
For more.
Maybe you wouldn't be content.
But see, I'm the opposite.
Part of your contentment
I'm
is
the
playing
opposite.
the game every day.
Like at the end of the workday, I'm content with what I've done that day and where my business is. But to me, and it's great that we have different points of view. That's great. At the end of the day, I'm like, all right, I just did a great fucking job. I helped 10 people make offers or counters or whatever. Fuck my life. And I went out and I bought a property or two and I sold one. Great. But I want to do 5 times that.
I mean, yeah.
So to me, that's the totality of it. So I think maybe we just have different perceptions of it.
When I say totality, I think of the 30,000 foot view of my life.
Right.
Right? I don't know if we're on the same page as to what you mean by that.
Explain it.
No, like if you took an overview of my life, I'm fine. I'm great. I don't have any problems. Man, my problems are made up, if anything. Right? But day to day, I feel like I can always do more.
Right. Okay, I get that.
Well, your contentment is in the fact that you always want to do more.
Am I content by that? That's what drives me. I don't think I am content.
I'm telling you, if you were just sitting on your ass and saying, I'm content, not doing anything, you wouldn't be content.
No, I wouldn't be.
Right. It is a paradox. But let's talk about, like, I'm not trying to bring
up the journey.
Perception?
The journey is the destination, that kind of bullshit. Something like that.
Or the ride, or like the journey is the...
The journey is the destination.
Right. Well, I think it's also very hard to be truly content whenever you don't have a steady source of income. So all the W2
there's no salary, right?
Right. All the W2 employees that are listening to the podcast right now, like it's very simple to be content when you know Friday you're getting paid, and that you're going to have enough money in your checking account to pay the rent and the bills and take that dinner date with the girlfriend or wife or whatever.
See, that always made me nervous. That always made me really fucking nervous.
Right. Me too.
I was my least content when I had to.
But most people don't look at it that way.
Right.
Though.
Most people think that's safe and secure. I was always, the more money I would make as a W-2, the more afraid I would get.
Right.
Because I was like, they could yank it from you any day for if I fart in their general direction.
Right. Which you just did in my general direction.
You can't do anything to me.
Yeah. You're fired.
Yeah.
Come into my office.
Yeah, no, it's scary, man. It really is. It's good though. I like the fact that there's lots of definitions of it. And I think we've kind of proven that today. Like, there is really no one size fits all answer to that question. You know, you can be content in lots of ways, different shapes, different forms, different fashions.
Yeah. I mean, I'll always be content with my wife and kids, and like, as long as I'm trying, doing my best, I'm content, right? But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying to do something harder because that's the fun of it.
Right. But do you think though you can do that because you have a kick-ass wife and kids?
Yeah.
Me too.
Absolutely.
My wife's amazing, right? And that allows me to go out and do these things.
Like if I was
she's
married,
she's wind beneath my sail, right? She's the wind. Yeah. And that's awesome. And a lot of people don't have that.
Some like filthy whore who was like slinging leg to my business partners.
Yeah.
Shit.
Slinging leg.
Sling a leg over this way.
I would be. I would be. Have you ever had a buddy who was a cuckold who was like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
It's soul crushing. Weird. I'm sure it's the same way if you're abroad and your husband's cheating. But no, I agree with you. You got it.
We have that feeling because that's already taken care of. We're content there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But so the danger is, and I get this, is like,
you need a beer?
Yeah.
But if you're like doing too much business and being like, I'm not content, and you're not taking care of people at home, like that's another recipe for
disaster,
malcontentment.
Of course.
So I do agree with you completely on that.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the W-2 and contentment. I'm like the closest removed from that. So as of a month ago.
What was your last job?
I was working in the automotive field. I was a repair estimator, manager type. So I manage repairs on cars, basically. So, I mean, as far as contentment goes with having a W-2 job, I just was texting my buddies earlier today, you know, like, oh, I got nothing to do. I just want to do as little as possible this week. And I'm just thinking about like, how can I go fit in? I'm going to work in my business this weekend and juggle my family life too. Like, it's just
set the precedent early, brother. If you're a month in, you gotta, whatever it's going to be, set it now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why, like, we were just talking about our significant others. Like, I had to get my wife on board with this. Like, before I jumped on, I even told them that.
And I do think it took a lot of balls. So Brian found us on Facebook and just came and said, I want to be on the team. And we're like, well, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I respect that.
Those are the guys that you want to bring on.
Yes,
you don't want to go fucking put an ad out on Craigslist and get 60 applications. And no, you want the guy that comes to you, which is what you probably did to Brian too, right?
Yeah, it is.
Similar.
Well, he put out. We referred to the person before, but I'm not gonna say his name. Remember
we generally call people out on this podcast.
I'm not calling anybody out. No, what was the email? No, fuck.
Oh, SSIC.
Yeah. But the email that we used to go out every day. Brian Schroeder put out a description of who he was trying to hire. I got it because they used to come like 30 a day, and I set it up to be just once at 6 in the morning. So I got it from the day before. Right. Set up in bed. It was the very top one. I read it. I looked at my wife and I said, "He just described who I am."
Spinning. Are we doctor here, man?
There's the wind and the current.
Oh, the wind.
Brian described what he wanted out of an acquisitions person. I said, "That's me."
I remember hearing that on the podcast. That was on the Bigger Pockets podcast. What, episode 70?
71.
71? Yeah, I knew that shit, man.
And I took it a step further. I took an Apple, like the what's the one that you can make like slide decks and things.
Like pages?
Yeah, I took and I made like I said, here's the 10 houses I've helped acquire and do, and I went through all the profits and the.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he wants to see.
Oh yeah. He was like really impressed that I did that, and then he says, for the first 6 months, you're going to ride with me before you can make your own office. A month later, he goes, go buy houses.
Right. He knew. You're like,
I remember the day I got the job. Oh, this is a good story. Kirkwood. Right on the main.
Explain this to people who don't understand what Faster House is.
Okay, Faster House is a company I work for. Brian Schroeder, great company. They buy 120 plus houses a year.
Oh yeah, we should probably move again.
And so I was.
That's what I said, man. I think we're docked.
In acquisitions.
Look at this, man. You got a tree right here.
We'll just raise the prop up. No big deal.
Here, pause that story for 1 second. Cheers. Now we're moving.
All right. We're not in the mud.
All right.
This day we get really long and we get stuck here.
I'd go try to find some jumping cars for the audience.
Saw a couple there.
What a beautiful afternoon. Fuck, I wish we did have video. Look at that sun. That's glorious. I'm content, Phil.
Yeah.
Content.
Sun's out
Sun on
now,
your face.
man.
Yeah.
Glorious.
We got to get in a wakeboard running here in the
Yeah, that 360 I hit earlier made me very content as well.
Yeah, that was a great 360. I like that. So yeah, so Brian's a great guy. Faster House is a great company. When I first got into when I first started or decided that I wanted to be a wholesaler or a real estate investor full time, I went to Brian's office. I don't know if he ever told you this or not.
Yeah, he did.
I showed up at the office
after the podcast.
after the podcast.
Yeah.
And I sat down with Brian and I said, hey man, are you hiring? I'd love to work for you. And he obviously wasn't hiring at the time.
Is that how you originally heard of Phil? Because of Bigger
Podcast.
Pockets?
Yeah. And guys, people still email me to this day, 2.5 years later.
No shit.
Said, I just heard you on there.
30 million downloads on that thing. It's
30
crazy,
million.
man.
Yeah, Dorkin is making a
Crazy.
great.
Are you on like the
Yeah.
app and listening to all that?
I don't do that anymore. I'm
bunch
narcissistic.
of
I get on there
narcs.
like I'm never going to listen to this again.
Yeah,
after
Josh
I'll
and,
listen to this one and I'll never.
And
Been there, done that.
I like Brandon.
Dude,
better.
everybody listens
But
to
yeah,
this
they're both
podcast.
good guys.
Just,
Yeah.
You will be like salivating, waiting for like, what the fuck is Entrepreneur Drinks?
I can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah, that's good shit.
But the story is how I got my job, right? He said, I'm going to be riding with him for 6 months. He got a lead from a real estate agent in Kirkwood, and it was a ranch, nice ranch, but right on a main drag, and it was part of another subdivision.
Okay.
And the comp said 260, 270 all day long, right? But this fucker was right on the main drag, and everything else was back in the subdivision, right?
Yeah, it's
Not
not.
quite the same.
No, so I'm walking through it, and you got to know your ARV. You have to know your rehab numbers
Oh, we can do that after.
to be able to put your price together. And so I'm walking through it with Brian, and Brian's always cool and collected. That's just his mannerism. And he
he's
taught me a
cool
lot
cat.
to slow the fuck
Right.
down, which is a problem for me always. And when I'm 6'3", 300, and I'm talking to an 80-year-old woman that weighs 80 pounds, is 4'11", I always wanted to get below their eyesight. So I might sit on the damn ground to make my offer. But in this case, so
Why?
we're talking to real
Psychologic. Where you at on that?
psychologic.
You didn't want to be like towering?
Because I do that. It's natural.
Intimidating.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
but
intimidating. You want to get below them. You want to get on their
When you
eye
make an
level or
offer?
below them.
Yeah,
I've
and
never
I'll
heard
slow
about
down,
this.
and I'll slow down too, man. Like I'll talk fast normally, but when it's time for the offer,
Yeah, the guy after
and they'll
you-
lean in. They'll lean in. You're like, oh,
I
and
know.
here we go.
The guy
you're
after
like
you on that Bigger Pockets
$1.
podcast, what was it? Michael Corals?
Oh, number 77.
What's it
I've listened to
called?
it 23
Oh, yeah,
times.
number 77.
Neuro-linguistics.
NLP, man.
Oh, NLP.
Neuro-linguistics programming.
So that day, we're walking around with Brian. He pulls me aside and said, Phil, what do you think the offer should be on this? And I said, well, I think the ARV's around 240. He goes, 240? He goes, no, the comps I pulled 260, 270. I go, yeah, I agree. If this was in the subdivision, it'd be that much. It's right on the main drag, and it's not. So then we're walking around a little bit. We get to the outside. And we're walking around with the agent, and Brian says to the agent, "What do you think this will sell for?" She goes, 239, 240. And I go, I just got a job. In my head, I'm like, bam. And she says, if it was back in there, it'd be worth more, obviously. And I'm like, I just got a job. I was like doing a little dance inside my head. I'm like, oh, and it just happened right there. That was the moment. That was the moment. Yeah.
That's a great story. Yeah, Brian's got a great business.
It does. He's getting into coaching.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Tim.
Yeah.
So, are we still on contentment, or should we switch over
move on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
We're all content.
relativity.
Perception and relativity.
The perception and relativity.
Or maybe the perception of your relativity to where you are in life. With
Right.
what matters.
So I'm going to take the lead on this. I'm going to explain to the listeners what exactly we're referring to. So whenever we say relativity, and that could possibly be the wrong word or whatnot, but what we mean by this is that everything in life is relative to your surroundings and how you perceive reality. So earlier, Phil had a great joke. Go ahead and tell that one.
Which one?
Or it was the one about
Uh-oh.
Bill Gates and Oprah.
Oh, if Bill, well,
Somebody
it's
else
a
said
joke.
it.
It's
it was a saying. It was a
Chris
saying.
Rock. He said if Bill Gates woke up with Oprah's money, he'd jump out of a window.
Yeah.
It's all relative because he's 80 billion and
It's all
Oprah's worth
relative
3,
because
right?
he'd go from 80 to 3.
Yeah.
And that's, but it's a perfect point though, because if you have the ability, which I think is a learned skill or talent, I personally do, to take that 30,000 foot view, I call it a 10,000 foot view, but you've referred to it as a 30,000 foot view, and look down on yourself and see, all the things that you have to be blessed for and have, and it really comes down to gratitude too. Gratitude's really important. I just had an argument with one of my, I don't want to say employees, but junior buyers about gratitude just 2 days ago.
You can't have appreciation without
You
gratitude.
can't have appreciation without gratitude.
It's
Appreciation.
something I struggle with is gratitude.
Right.
I need to get better at it.
Yeah.
That got me over when I quit my job, that got me over all my fucking nervousness. I would wake up and I'd write down 3 things I was grateful for.
Yeah.
I was like,
I got a
it's not
gratitude
that
rock
bad.
on my desk.
Yeah.
You guys think I'm a weirdo, but it's a little green rock, got a little smiley face on it. Every time I see it, I subconsciously tell myself, take a second and think about something you're grateful for. And I see this thing 10 times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I take, sometimes it's like 5 seconds, sometimes it's 5 minutes. But I'll pick it up and I'll be like, damn, I'm fucking grateful for this desk and this office and not the 80,000 of credit card debt that I once had that I don't have anymore. And
Yes.
all the things that I can just simply, but sometimes that simplicity of just thinking about it can really move you light years ahead, you know, of where you at once were.
To me, is the name of the game is gratitude.
Gratitude is the name of the game. I can't agree more.
Have you guys done good in getting negativity out of your life, whether it be people?
Well, relativity is
Fuck,
my key to
Yeah,
that.
negativity has always been hard. Like getting that out of my life has helped me a ton.
Right.
Like out of friends or out of
All, lots of things.
Everything. Just get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like, it's mostly mental. Just get that
But
mental thought out
their
of your
mentality
head.
can drag you down. It doesn't.
yeah.
You know, my positivity won't bring them up, but their negativity
Oh,
can drag
I've
me
changed
down.
lots
Yeah.
of friendships over the last couple of years just based on that thought alone. Like, when I get together, it's just not positive.
Yeah, right. Whiny baby
But
shit.
they want to one up
Making
you
up
on-
shit to worry about.
They want to one up you
That
on how
drives me
bad your day
nuts.
was. That's the key right there. If you ever go tell a friend about a bad situation and they try to tell you a worse situation, you should not be friends with that person anymore.
Yep.
Because they're not bringing you positivity, they're bringing you more negativity.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be talking negative in the first place,
Shouldn't be.
right? But if you do talk negative and they try to bring it down, get out.
Tell me if you guys think this is too big of a dick stance, but like, I don't generally like empathetic people because I think there's some people who are like, when you're always offering your shoulder to cry on, like, I don't trust you. Like, there's something fucking weird.
Isn't that a good
I don't
nature of a
trust-
good
what does that mean?
grandma though? Like a good grandma would be that person, right?
No, you can't be grandma to the whole fucking world.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
some people out there like, this is my shoulder, cry on it. Tell me your problems. Like,
Do you think
I
it's because they
can't
love
stand
gossip? Do you
Yeah.
think they just love gossip?
yeah, I think they like the power.
Oh, or it makes them feel better when they know somebody else is more fucked up than them. The Walmart effect. Do you know how sexy I
Walmart
feel
effect.
when I leave Walmart? I am the most beautiful
Oh,
boy in
that's
the
a-
world when I leave Walmart.
That's a great.
I have
that's
all
a
my
great
chromosomes,
fact.
and I'm like, I am
All
truly
my
fuckable.
chromosomes.
Because I saw a bunch of people in Walmart that were not. Right? It's
Right.
the same.
Right.
Yeah. You think I'm too big of a dick there? But
No.
like,
No, I get what you're saying.
anybody who wants to hear other people's problems, like, is instantly going to bring negativity to a conversation. That's what they're looking for that day. It's like I instantly distrust them.
I would bet that I don't know Brian that well, but the three of us, I'm sure, we're tired of people that don't want to pull themselves up by the bootstraps, right? We don't
Right.
want to hear whiny baby
No.
shit. Fix it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we just don't have time for
I
that.
tell this
Yeah.
to my fiance all the time, and she hates me for it. But I'll say, bring me a solution, not a problem.
Hold on. People
And
call me
I-
every day with the problem. I go, I've heard you.
Right.
Now, what is the solution?
Right.
I don't even, let's not
And
even
you know
talk about the
what,
problem
though?
again. I
But
heard you the
what's-
first
know
time.
what
What
the
is the
beauty of
solution?
That is, though, Phil, is those simple words oftentimes will settle or will figure it out. Okay, what is
Yeah.
the solution? And then you just stop. Just don't say anything else. And then they'll tell you the solution. And then you're like, okay, implement.
Do it. Go
Bye.
do it. Yes.
Implement.
Hold on. When
Quit
somebody says
fucking
I have
calling
bad
me.
news and good news, I say every time, give me the bad news, and the good news better fucking take care of the bad news
Right.
that you're getting ready to tell me. That's what I say every time.
Right, implement. Right.
I think you can walk a fine line with empathy, though, where if you're a good enough friend, you can call that person out. If your problems are fucking bullshit,
Right.
hey, you
Yeah.
got,
Well,
you gotta
that
be able
is
to
the
tell
point
them
of
that.
relativity in what we're talking about,
Yeah.
though, because a lot of times their problems to them, this is the whole point of relativity. A lot of times the problems to them
Are huge
they may be huge,
to them.
but if you can make it relative to another
Right.
person or civilization or time or culture or whatever,
Or just say,
you can
don't
get-
be a pussy.
You can get real deep. Yeah, don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
But you can just say, listen, like, example, like I just said, like I always say, don't bring me a problem, bring me a solution. Well, it's very similar to the fact that if somebody's bitching or whining because they didn't get their bonus, it's like, okay, well, somebody else probably didn't get clean water today. So that sucks, but would you rather switch shoes with them? Would you rather switch places with them? Fuck no.
I think a lot.
And you may call me extreme,
No, that's not extreme.
but I don't look at it that way, man. Because sometimes my 30,000 foot view, maybe 100-mile view. Or I'm looking down the
I
globe.
mean, at the end of the day,
I'm looking down on the globe
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck, your car broke down? Sorry, I am so goddamn sorry.
I mean, at the end of
Fuck.
the day, if you're an
You're not
American
enslaved,
in
though.
2017,
That's
you're
where I was
the
going.
richest, wealthiest.
Hold on.
That's my point.
And
You guys
the
follow Gary
5,000
Yeah,
years
yeah.
of humanity.
Yeah, what does
That's
he
one of
say?
my favorite quotes is
400 trillion to
there's a
one?
yeah, whatever the stat is.
Which who knows if that's even true or not, but right.
100 trillion and one whatever to be a human being. Like, just think about that.
Right.
And you live in America.
Well, hold on. To be a white male born in the Midwest in the late 1970s, I'm maybe the luckiest dude ever. I might be.
I know.
In perspective, I might be the luckiest man alive.
Right.
So is that gratitude? I guess that is
It
gratitude.
is gratitude.
So maybe I do
You're
have
grateful
some
for the
gratitude.
moment.
in me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll just throw this out there without getting too deep. Like I told you guys a little bit, like I kind of had a tragedy that threw me into this cycle of determining what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
Gratitude has kept me afloat, kept me going, and that's every day. I got to start off with that. My biggest struggle is blocking out the negativity, and I've had to make a lot of tough choices and cut out a lot of people.
Now, are you? Let me ask you this. This might be kind of deep and personal, but are you blocking it out or are you embracing it? That's the two different things.
The negativity or the gratitude?
Yeah, like, and I don't mean like embracing it like you are appreciative of it, but like you understand it,
Right.
and you just move on. That's different than blocking it out.
No, at first I blocked out a lot, and it was not good.
Yeah.
I had to realize that. After a while, though, you just have to make split decisions of, is this going to affect me in a positive way or not? Can I affect this or not?
That's great.
Do you have any control? If you have no control, you just have to move on.
Right. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. That's the difference, though, between the two.
I was telling a buddy today that I try to do this thing when a problem comes into my life. The first thing I ask myself is, will this even be a thing in 90 days?
That's a great.
And it's about 98% no.
It's,
it's never a
thing right there, man.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're like, okay, let's
Right.
fix it. Let's go ahead and fix it. But it's not going to be a thing.
Right.
Like most things are not going to affect you that way.
No, the whole problem solution, I don't know what you call that. Like, it's not a paradigm, but like the whole problem solution, just idea, is genius though, because you do that to people that call you Phil, like you said, and I
would love to be on that conversation. By the way, I would love to hear.
Oh, it's amazing.
Good news or the bad news? Well, give me the bad news, asshole. That's what I want to hear first, because I'm
right. But I'll have that same mindset whenever I get a call from some person randomly about something, and they just have something negative to say, and I'm like, listen, spill your guts. Let's hear it. It's gonna make you feel better about the moment.
I feel you should probably pee closer to the mic so the audience can hear it.
But at the end of just stand up, man. Have
you ever heard?
Go to the back where there's a platform. You're gonna be way better off.
Have you ever seen the movie Legend of Bagger Vance?
I have never seen that movie.
It's a very underrated movie, right?
Yeah,
is
it good?
It's about a dude. Matt Damon's this guy who was in World War I, and his whole platoon gets wiped out and all this shit. And he's got super PTSD and all this shit.
Okay.
And Will Smith is his
golf
caddy, right? But he's like a ghost or an angel.
Matt Damon and Will Smith?
Yeah.
Damon.
Same movie?
Fuck yeah.
It's like 2000 before they were both huge.
Yeah.
Whoa.
best pee I ever took.
You're one of those guys who can really hold it.
Yeah, goddamn.
Like 5 years.
That was the best piss I ever took. Oh,
So he was like a world-class golfer. He goes to World War I.
You need a beer?
yes.
His whole battalion gets all fucked up, right? And he's all fucked up by it. And so he gets in this golf tournament, and he's like...
This is Matt Damon?
Yeah, Matt Damon's killing it, right? But then he starts shanking shit, and then the PTSD starts coming back. He starts shaking and shit, and he wants to quit. And Will Smith,
Goes in there and gives him an HJ and does
they didn't put that on the film. That might have been the director's cut. But he's like, there's not a fucking soul on earth who doesn't have a decent reason to feel sorry for himself.
Right.
And whenever I'm feeling sorry for myself, I put that movie on.
Those are great.
I listen to fucking Will Smith, and he's like, you're fucking right. Everybody has a reason to piss and moan. Are you gonna piss and moan?
You know what I used to do in college? You guys are gonna think I'm an asshole for telling you this. I did a lot of that, but so I dated a couple random girls in college. Obviously, we all did. But whenever they would become to the point where they'd be ungrateful or they would lose touch with reality, which comes back to the relativity argument, I'd book them a flight to Zimbabwe. I'd book it. I would pay for it a one-way. I would
Get
give
the fuck
it.
out of here.
No, I did. I'll show you the receipts.
That's disposable
And
income.
I would get the refund.
I'm gonna do that to my kids.
I'd give them a refund, but I would give them the ticket, and I'd say, "Listen, I know that life is.
That's awesome.
Listen, here's what I say. I said, listen, I know life is just terrible right now, and that you probably want to end it all, and that all this shit that you have and that you're not grateful for, but it's just terrible. Take a 2-week trip over there and live with the people, and then come back and let me know how bad it really is over here."
You were the first person to be real with them in their whole life.
Oh, fuck yeah! People would snap out of it.
Dude, I'm
talking like a 15-second, I am so sorry Like, right. I'm not going there. Like, you know, but I did that no bullshit 10 times in college.
I'm gonna do that to my kids.
Different people.
Would you do that to your kid?
That's great. I
And
love it.
you know,
I
you
would
may
fucking-
spend $50 on like the insurance that you don't get back.
Hold on. Hold on. I might just book him a train to like Festus.
Detroit. yeah, wherever.
Same principle.
Right,
Same
right.
thing.
I know, but I would
like the drama of Zimbabwe.
I would literally book the flight though, one way, and I'd be like, "Here, let me know when you get back.
That's
We'll get
funny.
together. We'll have dinner. We'll talk about it." And their whole mindset, their perception, their relativity, the relative means of how they feel and how they perceive their surroundings and their possessions and their true state of being would change in a matter of seconds when I would introduce that you know idea. It was really an idea, not a trip, not a ticket. It was an idea.
Stereotypically, I think that girl had never been challenged in her life too. She
Not with the real like.
not with real anything.
You're leaving
She's
tomorrow, bitch.
probably a cute girl who
leaving
lives in St. Louis.
tomorrow.
Dad had a good job.
Right.
You're so pretty. You never have to do anything. And all of a sudden, somebody's like,
You are leaving
your problems
tomorrow.
are dumb.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Dumb.
Right? Yeah, they're dumb.
Problems are terrible. Right.
Why weren't you like, look, bitch, why isn't my dick good enough?
Cut that one out, man. That's awesome. No, but I used to do that, and I didn't think it was funny. I thought
It was a proof of point.
I thought it was a proof of point. It was
Yeah.
eye-opening though. But like
It is a good point.
It would be true though, because then if they ever came back a second or third time, I don't have to go buy a ticket. I just have to mission. Be like, all right, I'm gonna go home and book a ticket to fucking Iraq this time or wherever. Like,
His ticket was perception, though. Your ticket
Right.
was selling them perception.
It
Here
was.
you go.
Right.
Here's a little perception.
Yeah,
for
let
you.
me know how it is. You can stay for 2 weeks or so. Call me whenever you get tired of it, and I'll get you a flight home. But it wasn't a round trip.
I love it's just one way.
It was a one way.
That's even more poignant, right?
Yeah.
It's like, here's a one way.
Yeah. And there wouldn't be a hotel at the other end of that flight. It'd just be a ticket. You know, nobody ever took me up on flying there.
Of course not.
That was the whole
It wasn't
point.
the point.
though.
Yeah,
It
that
wasn't
was
the point.
I'm
right?
definitely doing that.
The fact that
I'm
you're able to
going
buy a
home today and
flight
telling
to
Susie
Zimbabwe
about that.
in college is pretty awesome.
Yeah. But you know what? It was powerful, man. It was because I didn't do it to guys. I would do it to girls that were like you said, Phil. They were like sheltered and
In a cocoon.
ungrateful.
Yeah.
And they expected everything for nothing.
Because they were given everything their
Right.
whole lives.
Right. And then whenever you like flip that on them, it's like, okay, like shit just got really real. Like really quickly, you know? Daddy's not here to save the day on this one, you know?
For the first time.
For the first time?
For the first time in their life.
I wonder how many called her daddy.
I'm sure.
What did you
nobody-
do?
Yeah. I like this Dave guy. I need to meet him. That's what they probably would have said.
That's what I would do. I was the dad.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So yeah, back to the whole relativity thing. What is relativity? It's just being able to compare yourself to the other people, and other situations, other
Which I think is a waste of time.
everything. I
Do
don't
you?
at all, man.
To compare yourself to other people?
No, what he's saying is that I've heard that every American is a one percenter.
Right.
It is.
To the
Every
world.
American
Right.
is a 1%.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying compare yourself and like be like
Not honest with
happy
yourself.
or
Yeah.
sad about it. I'm just saying, just understand that you are the 1%er, and that life could be so much fucking worse in a million ways. Like to me,
You could be married. You could have been born 60 years ago, and it would really suck balls
Right.
compared to right now.
Yeah.
right?
No
you
fucking
should
internet,
Probably
like-
move. You're gonna hit this rock, man.
All right,
But
we'll move again.
well, here, real quick though, like people that have severe depression.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I can cure their depression by a trip to Zimbabwe for 1 week.
Man, that sounds like a charity.
Because when you get home from your trip,
That sounds like something I'm willing to put money down to test that theory.
let's do it. Because here's my point though. When you come back, before you go, you aren't grateful for your running water. You are not grateful for your fucking drywalled, painted, carpeted
Cable,
mansion
cable,
with cable,
Netflix.
and HVAC,
Yeah, right.
and all these fucking things that you
Whole-
don't even think
Uber,
twice.
Postmates, delivery of food. Like,
You
let's
don't
just keep
even
going.
think about. But
Yeah.
when you don't have any of them, I'm talking none.
Yeah.
I'm talking a metal tent and dirt floors. You start to become appreciative of the cabinetry, of the hardware on the door, on the fucking every little detail, man.
Yeah.
Every little detail.
To be honest with you, like, that's the reason I'm most grateful, like, I went overseas. Like,
Right? Because it makes you
my
realize.
worst day in St.
Hey, you need
Louis
to move
is
the
my
boat.
best day over
Move
there.
the boat before you crash.
Crash.
So that's my 2 cents on this.
I appreciate that, Dave.
I love your 2 cents, Dave. We might be on to a good charity.
I give you 4 for it. That's not a bad idea. Do a charity.
Right.
Charity flights to Zimbabwe.
One ways.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they have to do something. If they do something good, then they get their way back.
I mean, that's a much cheaper solution than like 8 years of shrink bills.
Oh fuck yeah.
Is that even
Fuck
comparable?
Yeah.
Get a gratitude rock. If you struggle
How
with
big is your gratitude rock?
the size of a quarter,
Is it so? It's like a pebble.
a little bigger than that. But it's just a little.
I don't have a
rock.
problem with gratitude.
I'll post it on the-
I'm gonna go get myself a
I'll
fucking
post it on the
gratitude rock,
It doesn't have to
'cause
be a
I like
rock.
the idea.
Here's the thing.
Every day or just say hi?
It doesn't have to be a rock. It can be
It's
a
just there.
coin. It could be
Yeah.
it could be anything, guys. The point is that you in your brain you attribute gratitude to this object, and then the point is to put the object somewhere that you are often. Your bathroom, your bedroom.
There's
your
a Dan Sullivan
nightstand.
book called the.
To me, it's my office. So when I walk in, the first thing I do is I fucking see it. And again, I don't spend a half an hour
Rocks right there.
being a weirdo.
Yeah.
You know, talking about all the things I'm grateful for. I can
It's
look.
a subconscious.
It's subconscious.
Yeah,
I can
reminder.
look at it, and it may take me 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But I'm like, boom, gratitude rock.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the fact that I can even fucking see this rock right now, and have the free thought to be grateful. So you guys may think I'm crazy,
No,
but
dude.
No, no.
it's changed my life.
We're all on the same page. Right?
It has.
To me, gratitude is the greatest anxiety cure ever. If you just knock out 3 things you're grateful for, your brain will chill the fuck out.
It changes everything, man. So like I get that there are people that are severely depressed, they have chemical dependencies, so on and so forth. I get it. But
there are just some whiny pussies out there too.
in my opinion, and I
At
could
the
be
end of
wrong,
the day, there's just some fucking.
in my
whiny-
opinion, 95% of the people that think that they have depression,
I highly doubt we have a female
they
listener.
think
so
they have it.
I
That's the
don't-
point.
Yeah.
They're not truly depressed.
So I find so many people are just convinced. They've convinced themselves, and they're just
Kill it because
no help them.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. They convince themselves, right? And then it snowballs because then they get on meds and then
Hold on,
the meds
isn't
get
this almost a
stronger.
United
Never
States
ending
thing though, right?
Right.
We
No, I think Europeans are pretty whiny and.
no. About we take we're 5% of the population, but we take 95% of the pills.
Right?
Like, right?
Same with
Yeah.
prisons.
Same with
Same with prisons.
What's the stats on prisons?
95% of the population of prison inmates is in the United States.
Really?
And we are
Yeah.
5% of the
And
world's
what percentage are drug offenders?
Oh, most.
probably 80.
Yeah, the heavy most.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know
really
that stat.
fucked up.
I'm guesstimating.
And because it's been privatized, you can get real deep, real quick on how fucked up everything
Right.
is.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, I watch a lot of documentaries because I love that type of shit. And the world happiness like scale,
We're low.
we're really fucking low.
But I do think that scale's bullshit.
That's fine. You're
I just-
entitled to that. But like people that live in Switzerland and like
Switzerland, I was going to say,
I think-
all the Nordic
I
countries.
think number
I'm like,
one
it looks amazing.
is Norway.
Yeah, they look like they're having fun. Oh my
Norway or
God.
Greenland.
But how does one?
Yeah, it's been sitting in the sun.
How does one measure
that's
their?
a good Reese's, bro.
Get in there.
I've already eaten a bunch of almonds.
How does one measure that? Their happiness.
Well, they have a like an indicator based on the. It's not happiness so much as it is like
Overall quality of
lifestyle,
life.
Yeah.
right? Quality of life. So that factors in like how many hours a week you work, how many hours a week you spend with your family,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like your cost of living versus the income that's on averagely generated.
I mean,
How much
just-
vacation time they
How
get.
mu- and that's a huge factor.
Yeah.
You know, like
It was
America,
what we were-
what is it? Average 10 days.
Yeah.
In Norway, it's like 40. I mean, it's like it's not even close to comparable.
But it's like we were talking about earlier. I hate averages. I hate numbers.
In America, we say we're going to take a vacation. That term to me is short term. They say we're taking holiday. We're going to
But
leave
isn't
for
that
a
because
month.
the government pays for it?
We're going to leave for a month, and we're not going to think twice about coming back or answering our phones. And we're going to hit 10 countries. In America, we're going to go to Florida for 4 days.
Have you seen Who Should
It's not
We
even
Invade
close
Next?
to the same thing.
No.
The Michael Moore film?
Uh-huh.
You should watch that.
Which one?
Who Should We Invade
Invade Next. I've
Yeah.
seen it. It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
I kind of hate that fat fuck.
It doesn't matter. That's not the point. But why, though?
Huh?
He created a niche for himself.
Yeah.
Telling stories. He's a storyteller. He's a storyteller, right? Right?
He's a good storyteller. I'll give him
Yeah,
that. I don't like him either,
documentarian.
but
He's a documentarian.
He's a documentarian. Yeah, he's good at it.
It just makes you think that you'll like this. You'll like that.
No, the whole point of that
because-
documentary is what we're talking about. It's about
it's exactly.
happiness.
Yeah.
And like why
Comparatively, Americans to the world.
Right.
I just think when you use the government or the country to run numbers, they'll come out. The Soviet Union used to say they're the greatest producer of something. You can get an aggregate number to justify anything.
Sure.
You know what else I took away from that movie, though? Everybody else is taxed at a way crazier rate than we are.
Well, that's because
They're taxed even higher, but they're using it for good.
They're using it for good. It's not being squandered.
Yeah, it's
they don't
being
have
used
a fucking government of
they don't have to be the world police.
7,000 people trying to
true.
decide on one topic.
We don't have to be either. But
No.
other than that,
Yeah.
Right.
We
kind of have to now. we have to be the world
choose to
police
be Team
now.
America.
Yeah.
Have to be.
America. Fuck yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the Book of Mormon? I've never seen it, but I would love to go see
I heard
that.
it's awesome.
I haven't
I've heard
seen
it's
it.
awesome too.
Yeah.
When we would ride out on missions, that was the song we would hit as our pump-up music.
Fuck yeah. Oh man, it's awesome.
Come and say the motherfucking day, yeah.
Oh, it's great. Holy cow. Well, he had some good topics on this show, guys.
I feel content.
Contentment.
We got an hour and 5. That's a decent run.
I'm
Right
good.
there.
Yeah, you ready to hit the wakeboard?
I
Let's
need
do
another
it.
run.
All right, guys.
Love
thanks
you guys.
for listening.
Bye.
Until next time. Bye.
Listening to the Entrepreneur Drinks podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach a wider audience. We would also appreciate if you left us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Thanks for your support, and we hope that you learned something, had a few laughs, or at very least was entertained by our shenanigans. We had fun, and we hope you did too. Until next time, cheers.